जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी।
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 जय गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी।
जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी।
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना।
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना।
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना।
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना।
यमुना तीरा वनचारी।
यमुना तीरा वनचारी।
यमुना तीरा वनचारी।
यमुना तीरा वनचारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी।
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
जय राधा रस बिहारी, राधा रस बिहारी श्री राधे।
जय राधा रस बिहारी, राधा रस बिहारी श्री राधे।
प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद
जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद।
गीता गौर हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि
गीता
बोल।
गौर हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल।
जयं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तरशत श्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस ऐसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की
जय।
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की
जय।
रामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की
जय।
श्री श्री राधा रास श्री हरि भगवान की
जय।
श्री श्री सीता राम लक्ष्मण हनुमान जी की श्री
जय।
श्री गौर निताय भगवान की
जय।
हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की
जय।
हरिनाम संकीर्तन की
जय।
जय और प्रेमानंदे।
हरि हरि बोल।
All glories to assembled
Hare
devotees.
Krishna.
All glories to assembled
Hare
devotees.
Krishna.
All glories to assembled
Hare
devotees.
Krishna.
All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto number 1, Chapter number 2, entitled as Divinity and Divine Service, and the text number 31. Taya vilasapteshveshu
तया विलसतेषु
guneshu gunavanina
गुणेषु गुणवानिव
antapravishta bhati
अन्तःप्रविष्टा भाति
jnanena vijumbhita
विज्ञानेन विजम्बिता
तया विलसितेष्वेषु
तया विलसितेषु
गुणेषु गुणवानिव
गुणेषु गुणवानिव
अंतःप्रविष्ट भाति
अन्तःप्रविष्टा भाति
ज्ञानेन विजृम्भितः
विज्ञानेन विजम्बिता
तया विलसतश्वेषु
तया विलसितेषु
गुणेषु गुणवानिव
गुणेषु गुणवानिव
अंतःप्रविष्ट भाति
अन्तःप्रविष्टा भाति
विज्ञानेन विजृम्भितः
विज्ञानेन विजृम्भितः तया विलसितेषु एषु
तया विलसतेष्वेषु
गुणेषु गुणवानिव
गुणेषु गुणवानिव
अन्तःप्रविष्टा भाति
अन्तःप्रविष्टा भाति
विज्ञानेन विजम्बिता
विज्ञानेन विजृम्भितः
तया विलसितेष्वेषु
तया विलसितेषु
गुणेषु गुणवानिव
गुणेषु गुणवानिव
अन्तःप्रविष्टा भाति
अन्तःप्रविष्टा भाति
विज्ञानेन विजम्बितः
विज्ञानेन विजम्बिता
तया विलसितेष्वेषु
तया विलसितेषु
गुणेषु गुणवानिव
गुणेषु गुणवानिव
अन्तःप्रविष्टा भाति
अन्तःप्रविष्टा भाति
विज्ञानेन विजृम्भितः
विज्ञानेन विजम्बिता
तया विलसितेष्वेषु
तया विलसितेषु
गुणेषु गुणवानिव
गुणेषु गुणवानिव
प्रविष्ट आभाति
अन्तःप्रविष्टा भाति
ज्ञानेन विजृम्भितः
विज्ञानेन विजम्बिता
तया विलासितेषु
तया विलसितेषु
गुणेषु गुणवानिता
गुणेषु गुणवानिव
अन्तःप्रविष्टा
भाति
प्रविष्टा
भाति
अन्तःप्रविष्टा भाति
अन्तःप्रविष्टा भाति
विज्ञानेन
विजम्बिता
विजम्बिता
विज्ञानेन विजम्बिता
Hare Krishna. Word to word translation. Taya by them.
by them.
Vilasateshu
विलसितेषु
although in the function.
although in the function
Eshu
Eshu
these.
these
Guneshu
Guneshu
the modes of material
the
nature.
modes of material nature
Gunavana
Gunavana
affected by modes.
affected by modes
Eva
Eva
as is.
as is
Antaha
Antah
within.
within
Pravishtaha
Pravishtaha
entered into.
enter into
Abhati
Abhati
appears to be.
appears to be
Vijnanena
Vijnanena
by transcendental consciousness.
by transcendental consciousness
Vijrimbhitaha
Vijambitaha
fully enlightened.
fully enlightened.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Translation. After creating the material substance, the Lord Vasudeva expands himself and enters into it. And although he is within the material modes of nature and appears to be one of the created beings, he is always fully enlightened in his transcendental position. Purport. The living entities are separated parts and parcels of the Lord, and the conditioned living entities who are unfit for the spiritual kingdom are strewn within the material world to enjoy matter to the fullest extent. As the Paramatma and eternally friend of the living entities, the Lord, by one of his plenary portions, and accompanies the living entities to guide them in their material enjoyment and to become witness to all activities, while the living entities enjoy the material conditions. The Lord maintains his transcendental position without being affected by a material atmosphere. In the Vedic literatures, Shruti, it is said that there are two birds in one tree. So there is a asterisk here. Dva suparna sayuja sukhaya samanam vriksham parishvajate tayor anyo pappalam swadya ati anashanna ayo vichakshiti. One of them is eating the fruits of the tree while the other is witnessing the actions. The witness is the Lord and the fruit eater is the living entity. The fruit eater living entity has forgotten his real identity and is overwhelmed in the fruitive activities of the material conditions. But the Lord, Paramatma, is always full in transcendental knowledge. This is the difference between the super soul and the conditioned soul. The conditioned soul, the living entity, is controlled by the laws of nature, while the Paramatma or the super soul is the controller of the material energy. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashlakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaiham Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhavitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vrishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So I welcome all of you to today's Srimad Bhagavatam class here at ISKCON Goregaon West, and the theme of this particular verse is continuing from the last one, the 13th verse also, that the sum and substance of this particular shloka is that although sometimes Krishna appears to be in this material world, but he is not affected or a part of a material world. His position is always transcendental in this material world. So the first thing which is said, that the Lord Vasudeva expands himself and he enters into a material substance. So when the creation happens, Krishna is always a primary creator for this world, and Brahmaji is a secondary creator for this particular world. Krishna, he expands himself into Balramji. Then after Balramji, there is a first quadruple expansion considered as Shankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha and Vasudeva. From them the second quadruple expansion comes, second Vasudeva, second Sankarshan, second Pradyumna, second Aniruddha, like that. And from them the first Vishnu, called as Karanodakshaya Vishnu, he comes. So what is Karanodakshaya Vishnu? Between the material world and the spiritual world, there is a Karana ocean, or in English it is called as causal ocean. So Lord Vishnu, this first Lord Vishnu, he just does yoga nidra. He sleeps. It's a very nice thing. The Lord sleeps. Okay. So he sleeps within that Karana ocean or a causal ocean, and from his every pores of body, this small bubble comes, which is a Brahman. Actually, they are the Brahmanda, looks like a pores. So it is said that within the one Shwasa of the Lord, millions and millions of Brahmandas, they come inside the body of the Lord, and millions come out of his body. So our entire universe, whatever million, trillion and zillions of years we are having, this particular Brahmanda, it's just like a one single shvasa of the Lord. So we are so insignificant in front of the Lord. We consider 100 years or even 60 years of my lifetime. My God. Whenever a person goes to 80 years of his life, he says, बहुत हो गया प्रभु जी, अब तो लगता है भगवान उठा ही ले. जब टाइम आता है प्रभु जी और थोड़ा जीना है. You know, so that happened. But in front of us, Krishna's life is like an eternal. He is eternal actually. It's ananta. From that Karanodakshaya Vishnu, whenever that Brahmanda comes out, same Karanodakshaya Vishnu expands himself and enters into that Brahmanda, and again in that Brahmanda he sleeps. So Lord's sleep is not like us. It's a yoga nidra. Okay. Although it appears like Lord is sleeping on the Shesha, but still he is aware of the entire universal affairs. So that every particular Brahmanda, he feels it with his sweat. Okay, half of the Brahmanda gets filled with the sweat of the Lord, and that is called as Garbhodaka ocean. It's a Garbha, means it's a Brahma under, it's a part of a Garbha, right? So that's why it is called as Garbhodaka ocean, because it's inside the Garbha from where the material world is going to sprout. Okay, and the same Lord, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, now he expands himself into Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. There are the two existences of Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. Above the Brahma's Satyaloka or a Brahma Loka, there is one planet called as the Shvetadvipa, which is filled with the milk. It's a ocean of milk is there, and on the same platform there is a Dhruvaloka also. Okay, and Lord Garbhodakshaya Vishnu expand himself in another Vishnu who again exists or have his own planet called as Shvetadvipa, and there he again goes into Yoga Nidra, and that Lord is called as Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. Kshira means what? Milk. So now he is inside the milk ocean, that's why he is called as Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, and the same Lord is present within the heart of every living entity as a Paramatma. So that Paramatma is also called as Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. Okay, so in that way, to maintain the complete universal affair, Krishna expands himself and enter into the material world. But still, he is not a part of material world. He is within the material modes of nature, appears to be one of the created beings, but he is fully enlightened and in the transcendental position. So, first we understood that he is in material modes of nature. Now the material world is functioning, is maintaining, maintenance is in mode of goodness, right? He expands, kshiram yatha dadivikar bhajatisma yoga. If you put a vikar inside the doodh, milk, that milk gets turned into a curd. So similarly, when Lord Vishnu comes and takes care of the material universe, he expands or he appears as Lord Shiva. So Shivji is in charge of mode of ignorance. So in that way, Lord, although it appears that he is within this material world and a part of a modes of material nature, but still he is a transcendental Satchidananda. Only a person who is Ajnani can say that Krishna is a part of, he is affected by the modes of material nature. And the second part from this translation which we can understand, that he appears to be one of the created beings. When Krishna appears in this material world, it feels like, oh, Krishna is like us. He is there, his mother, father is there, he was also a small child, then he grew up, he became a Pauganda, Avasa, then Kumara, then Yauvana, and then he never became old. Although during Mahabharata war, he was almost more than 100 years, but still Krishna appeared 16 years. Krishna never goes beyond 16 years. He always looks like a 16 years. Okay, that's the eternal age of Lord Krishna. So that's why I always tell, in the spiritual world, Krishna is of 16 years. But that is a problem in spiritual world. Why? Because nobody sees Krishna, like holding the hands of Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj and started walking. They never hear Krishna's broken words like maya 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 karke, do and makhan makhan. Not like those broken words are not heard in the spiritual world. Of course, if Krishna wants, he can do it. But that special rasa and that special pastimes are available in the material world. So in one sense, material world is blessed. Okay. So Krishna, even Lord Ramachandra, when he appeared like a human being. So that's why Ravana also considered like he just a mere one princess from Ayodhya. उसके पिताजी ने उसको निष्कासित कर दिया है. In that way, Ravana was saying in front of Vibhishan what he can do. Just a mere human being. So most of the time, those people having atheistic mentality, asura mentality, or a kind of a Mayavad mentality, they consider even if Lord comes into his own transcendental position to material world, they consider Lord to be the human being. And that's the greatest aparadh. That's why it is said, Mayavadi Krishna aparadh. Nastic people, atheistic people, they are the definitely aparadhi. So now we will go to the purport of Srila Prabhupada, what Prabhupada is saying right now. So we are the separated part and parcel of the Lord. Lord has different energies. Some of the energies, they are the eternally staying in the spiritual world. Certain devotees, those Nitya Parishads, they are totally under the internal energy of the Lord. They stay in the material world. There are certain living entities like us, those who rebelled against the Lord and came to this material world, they are the condition. And it is said that we are unfit for the spiritual kingdom. Right now, we are, but slowly as we follow the devotional service, one day by the mercy of the Lord and Acharyas, we will become fit for the material kingdom. Till that time, what we should do? We should create a spiritual kingdom here. Prabhupada said, my temples and my centers are now different than the spiritual world. So, when we come to the temples, when we come to the centers, we should consider it to be the spiritual world and we should try our level best, whatever our capacity is there, to make it appear like a spiritual world for other people so they will get attracted to the devotional service. And more devotees can come to the temples, they can take a darshan of the Lord, they can take a prasadam of the Lord and become devotees of the Lord. So it's not like that only one preacher or the person who is sitting on the Vyasasana and giving the discourses are responsible for the preaching. It might appear, there are the people who are in front of the curtain doing various dramas, but there are the people behind the curtain who are taking the part into the technical things and all the Rangabhusha, Veshabhusha, Keshabhusha. They are also very important part of that. So, some of us can preach, some of us will preach, and some of us will do the humble menial and background services. But each and every person are equally important in Krishna consciousness, and that should be always in our heart. Whether a person doing the jhadu and pocha in the temple, somebody is doing might be the deity worship, or somebody might be going outside and preaching or distributing the books. In Krishna's eyes, each and every person is equally important. Each and every service is equally important. So, in due course of time, naturally, we should make that particular center or the temple appear like a spiritual world so that more and more people can come. And it's a responsibility on each and every one of us. Not like a few manager people or the few preacher will do that. It's each and every one of us can do it. And we are a part of that. That's how the community is built. That's why how the temple and the foundation of that particular temple has been built. Okay. So, here it is said that such kind of a living entity are strewn within the material world to enjoy the matter to the fullest extent. So how many of us can say with whole our heart that yes, we are able to enjoy the matter to our fullest extent? Anybody here? Nobody. Even Radhita is not making her hand. None of us can enjoy the matter even fullest extent, because in this material world or the spiritual world, Krishna is the only enjoyer. वो ऐसा गांठ बांध के रखना चाहिए हम लोगों को हमेशा. Whoever says that I can enjoy the matter, his intelligence has taken care by Maya Devi actually. None of us can enjoy the matter to fullest extent, right? When we went to Pandharpur, we were having around 200 or 300 gulab jamuns with us, you know, and I think breakfast, lunch and dinner, all what we ate is a gulab jamun, one or two, still it was remaining, right? So even though there were 40 to 50 people, we could not enjoy it to our fullest extent. For even enjoyment of a living entity, there is a barrier, there is a capacity, right? Only Krishna is a person who can enjoy the matter. He is not interested in enjoying the matter, but still everything can be enjoyed by him only to the fullest of his extent. Otherwise we chale to chaand tak nahi to shaam tak. That is what our enjoyment is, right? So we cannot enjoy to the fullest extent, but somebody wants to enjoy. That's why we have been here. And Srila Prabhupada is writing here, because we are having that mentality to enjoy the matter to our fullest extent. Krishna has given this material world to us so that we can, to our extreme capacity. Fullest extent means what? It's not what matters fullest extent. It's our capacity's fullest extent that we can enjoy. As Paramatma, the Lord is always there within the heart of the living entities, and His plenary portions accompanies us, whichever the form we are. Right now we are in human form. Krishna is there within our heart. Even if we are a Gadha, Ghoda, Kutta, Pilli, Krishna is there within the heart of a person. Even we are a worm in a stool, Krishna is there within our heart. And even though a person or a living entity becomes like a Putana or a Aghasur or Bakasur or Kamsa, Krishna is there within the heart of a person. So whatever living entity is there, Krishna is witnessing. So Srila Prabhupada is writing here that whenever the living entity comes here, the witness is the Lord and the fruit eater is the living entity. Krishna is the greatest witness. You know, the world is going through so many chaos right now. There is like a north, south, east, west, everywhere war is going on. And all the intelligent agencies, they are behind what my fellow enemy country is doing. So they have their own intelligence systems. You know, there are Western world, they have a CIA, then the Israel and they have Mossad, we have RAW and everything, and we are continuously taking care and witnessing what our fellow enemies are doing. Krishna is the greatest intelligence agency. It's 24/7 each and every living entity's heart. Before any thought comes to our heart, he comes to know that. He is the greatest of all intelligence agency. Nothing can be hidden from Krishna. He knows very well what is our next plan. So we have our own plans. Krishna has his own plans. So there is a tug of war from our side between our plan and Krishna's plan. But ultimately Krishna's plan wins. Okay. So the analogy is in Mundaka Upanishad. It is given that the material world is like a tree. And on that tree, these are the two birds are sitting. One bird is a Atma and another bird is a Paramatma. Okay. The bird, which is called as a Paramatma or a living entity, he is witnessing the pleasure, or he is experiencing, not witnessing, he is experiencing the pleasure and the miseries in this material world. So the miseries and pleasure are compared in this particular analogy as in fruits of that tree, right? In this material world, what is the ultimate fruit is a pleasure, right? That is which we like, and as well as the misery is also the fruit. So what the Atma, that bird, is doing, he goes to particular branch to branch and it tries to eat the fruits. Sometimes the fruit become, it's a very sweet bearing fruit, and he feels, wow, what is this material world, Prabhuji? This is amazing. You say material world is full of miseries. I can see, it's such a enjoyable. And sometimes whenever he go to another branch and he eats another fruit, which is a very bitter action. That's not about fruit, Prabhu. What you were saying is the truth. Material world is full of miseries. So our realization, when it is not with the Shastra, in line with Shastras, it changes. It's called Jagata. Jagata means what? Which always revolves. So here everything revolves. The person, Jagat goes also changed, the position gets changed, people gets changed, the situation gets changed, our realization also gets changed. So sometimes we feel it like material world is such a beautiful, and sometimes we say no, it's not so good. Whenever we get a promotion, material world is such a good, and whenever our boss does some kind of a politics against us and give another person, a fellow member of mine, the promotion, we think material world is dangerous, it's a political world. So this living entity is witnessing both the fruits, experiencing both the fruits, and Paramatma, being the another bird on the same branch, is witnessing the experiences of ours, what we are going through, and is waiting for only one thing, that one day this particular bird will turn his head towards me and will say to me, is there any another way by which I can get out of this particular experience? That day I will give him the spiritual bliss. That's why the another bird called as Paramatma is always 24/7 witnessing our all the activities. So why Lord is like an other intelligence agency, what my living entities are doing, they are plotting against me, let me see. In that way is not, that's not the way Krishna is witnessing us. Krishna is witnessing us out of compassion. Many times, if child does something, mother and father, they encourages the child. Oh wow, that's so nice, do it. And many times whenever child does kind of a very mischievous activities or a notorious activities or a harmful activity to himself or herself, mother and father punishes that child. Similarly, the Lord being the Paramatma, whenever we living entities do some certain kind of good activities, pious activities, or a spiritual activities especially, Krishna gives us encouragement. Krishna gives us a sadhu sangha. Krishna gives us that bliss within this material world, material or spiritual, both. But whenever we do some kind of an activities which is a very harmful for our own existence or for the degradation of our consciousness, Krishna punishes us. So he is like that compassionate mother. Sometimes in Hindi there is a saying, I should not say such words, but it's a very relevant. Sometimes some people, they behave in such a way that, and we say it like lato ke bhoot nato cinema. Sorry to say this, it should not be spoken from Vyasasan, such words, but it's a saying, it's a kahavat in Hindi. So many times it happens, certain living entities, they cannot understand certain things just by words or just by trying to convince them. So punishment is required for them. So that's why Krishna also arranges certain kind of a punishments by which a living entity can come to his own senses. This is not what I supposed to do, and is witnessing all those things. I just yesterday read Srila Prabhupada one very beautiful statement. The cause of miseries for a living entity into this material world, the reason is only one: forgetfulness of Krishna. Once that thing we take care of, all the entire world becomes like a spiritual world for us. Entire world is having like a full of bliss for us. The only thing is that always being Krishna conscious. So there is a verse what we call every moment we should remember Krishna, not forget Krishna. What is that?
Krishna never forgets.
Always there is
Remember.
a Sanskrit shloka for this. Okay, so always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. So that's there. Now Srila Prabhupada is writing next. The fruit eater has forgotten his real identity and is overwhelmed in the fruitive activities of material condition, but the Lord is full in transcendental knowledge. Whether Krishna is as a Paramatma with us in the material world, whether he is in the Garbhodak ocean, or whether he is there in the spiritual world, he is always in a transcendental knowledge. Now the person who follows the devotional service and comes to a pure platform of transcendental platform, he always has this transcendental knowledge. He is also equally like that. He, whether he is in material world or the spiritual world, his consciousness and his position is always a transcendental. So qualitatively he becomes one like a Krishna, but not with a quantity. Okay, Krishna is also in transcendental position, and the pure devotees are also in the transcendental position. Just like Srila Prabhupada, there are innumerable incidences where it appears like it's a material thing, and Prabhupada is, observing that material thing. But when Srila Prabhupada derived the conclusion and told the conclusion to the devotees, it was completely transcendental. Just like when Prabhupada's disciple was telling out of humility his one incident which happened with Srila Prabhupada while on morning walk. So he was in Paris, and in Paris it is considered that Srila Prabhupada always said the Matajis from Paris are very beautiful. Okay, so this devotee was going with Srila Prabhupada, and while going he saw that there was one very beautiful Mataji. She was coming from like front, and this devotee, Prabhupada was talking, and he just got little bit diverted, and he observed that Mataji. Like, she's beautiful. It's very natural. Any beautiful thing comes, people look at that, and then all of a sudden when he observed like very nicely, he came to his senses. Oh my God, what I am doing? Srila Prabhupada is there in front of me, just near to me, and I am observing somebody else. It's like completely I am into anarthas. I am showing my anarthas in front of Srila Prabhupada. Your devotee is there, and he got like no, I should not do it. I should not do it. And he started again giving his oral reception to what Srila Prabhupada is saying. And Srila Prabhupada looked at him and smiled, and Srila Prabhupada said, "Is she beautiful? Isn't it?" And he was shocked. My God. So Prabhupada knows that I observed, but Srila Prabhupada also saw that she is beautiful. That's natural. Okay. So she is beautiful. So he was like, "Aisa pani ho gaya." And then Prabhupada said, "See, even a small, mere, ordinary person, like a lady, if she is so beautiful, you should remember that what Krishna is having a beauty with him, right? How Krishna must be beautiful in the spiritual world." And he got stuck with that statement. That what Srila Prabhupada consciousness is there, that even though he is seeing certain things in the material world, his consciousness is totally into Krishna. Whatever he is observing, he can connect it directly to Krishna and Krishna consciousness. So that's why this transcendental knowledge and the transcendental position of the pure devotees of the Lord. Even we see that this same thing is applicable for the pure devotees also. Although many times we can see that they are in the material world, they are the part of the material world, but they cannot be. They are always on the transcendental level. Srila Prabhupada, the entire business got collapsed. But he was very relaxed and he started smiling that the last thing which I was little bit, I can be asakta to that thing. Krishna has taken out that also. Now I am completely ready to give myself to Krishna. So that's how Srila Prabhupada's consciousness and the transcendental position was. And then that is the difference between the super soul and conditioned soul. We conditioned soul, we become the part of material world. Today morning only I read the statement of Bhakti Padma Saurabha Prachara Swami Maharaj, that he said material knowledge gives you understanding how to live in this material world, and the transcendental knowledge, spiritual knowledge, gives you understanding how to leave this world. So there is a difference between material knowledge and spiritual. Material is not a knowledge, material is the information actually. Okay, it cannot be considered as a knowledge. So material, whatever information and knowledge we get, that teaches us how to be in this material world, how to conduct ourselves in this material world. But the spiritual knowledge gives us understanding how to leave this world and go to the transcendental position and the transcendental platform. And the conditioned soul, the living entity, is controlled by the laws of nature. We are controlled by the laws of nature, and Krishna is a controller of the laws of nature. So that is the difference between us and the Supreme Law. So this is what Srila Prabhupada writing in the purport. So in our life, we should never compromise on the position of Lord Krishna, and especially the pure devotees of Lord Krishna. So whatever our spiritual masters are there, even their position cannot be compromised by us. So that's why it is said, Sakshat Haritvena Samasta Shastre Uktas Tatha Bhavyata Yeva Sabhi. So our spiritual masters are actually not, we should consider them to be not different than the Lord Krishna. How they should be? It's not like they are the Lord Krishna, but their position is as good as Lord Krishna, because by their mercy we are getting Krishna. From them, whatever instructions of Krishna that is coming to us, their position are transcendental to us, and they are the pure devotees of the Lord. They are the representatives of Lord Krishna, all our acharyas and all our present spiritual masters. So whatever our awe and reverence and our devotion and our surrender, we should give it to them, and through them it will reach to Srila Prabhupada and then to Krishna. That's why in our altar we have our spiritual masters. Okay, first our initiating spiritual master, then Srila Prabhupada, then Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. In that way it goes to Krishna. Similarly, whatever we offer, whatever we do, aratis and all, it goes through our Guru Shishya Parampara. So their position should not be compromised by all of us. So whether it is Lord Krishna or our spiritual masters, they are always on a transcendental position. They are the representatives of Krishna, and then Krishna himself is there. So that's what I wanted to share with all of you for today. Here we will take a small pause of 24 hours, and tomorrow we will meet same time, same place with the next verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Jai Gaura Premanande. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.